All right, so today we're going to talk about the number one thing that's going to sabotage you from getting to your goals. And I think that this is going to be one of those earth shattering moments because a lot of us don't talk about this, yet it's extremely important. We all get caught up on the surface stuff, right? What program are you following? Right now, Weight Watchers just released 3 new programs. Are you on such and such a plan or such and such a plan? What are your calories? What are your macros? What are my maintenance calories? We get very caught up on that outer level of things regarding weight loss. And what we cease to do is dive down into the core of what the real issue is. And you say, Heather, what is the real issue? The real issue is when you screw up, when you binge, when you eat off plan, when you have several days back to back where things don't go according to what you want. How do you show up for yourself? What I have really been diving into is this idea of isolation is our self-induced prison and punishment for being human. Think about it. Whenever something's going wrong, do you come to your friend and say, man, this just happened to me. I'm feeling really cruddy about it. I feel like giving up, but I'm not going to. And I know if I share this out loud, it's going to help me get back on track. Or do you do what all of us have done at some point, which is slink away. You isolate. You don't communicate. You don't share. You say, I'll fix this on my own and I'll come back better. You hold things very close because you feel like nobody will understand. Nobody will care. Everyone's got their own issues, right? And so you keep things you're struggling with internally. Isolation. Isolation doesn't just mean behind bars. It can also mean in bars, knowing that you're sitting with something that's really destructive for you and you won't put it out in the world. You're afraid to be vulnerable. See, this is the thing. We want to believe weight loss is the program. It's the calories. It's the points. It's the macros. It's the what amount of carbs I'm eating every day. It is so not those things. I could care less what you do to monitor your food intake. I want to know as a coach, I want to know as somebody who's spent a greater part of her life working on this, what are you going to do when you hit resistance? What are you going to do when you fall flat on your face? Because if you will isolate yourself, if you're going to hold everything back, if you're not going to share, you will suffer. You will not succeed. And I can tell you that because I did it. It wasn't until I said, I need support. I need to share when I screw up. And I will be honest with you, that is the hardest fight to have. I can count points. I can count calories. I can count macros. That's pretty easy, right? I could train a monkey to do that. The hard part is on the days that I know I'm not being honest with my food, the days I know I didn't do the things I wanted to do, the day that I might have binged or the day that I might have overeaten and completely screwed the plan, showing up and raising my hand and saying, hey, this is my reality. This is what did. It almost was a nauseating physical pain to do. I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. That's the hard part of weight loss. It's that showing up when you really don't want to and you feel almost sick about doing it because you're pushing past the resistance that's always held you back. That's the prison. That's the isolation prison that we're in. If we feel sick about it, if we feel shame about it, if we can't share it, we suffer with it. So hear me on this. Decide now. I'm not talking superficial stuff about this anymore. I'm going to start asking myself, what am I going to do on the day that I screw up? What is my friend going to do on the day she screws up? And have this very real conversation. Because until we do, and until we lift the curtains on this shame and vulnerability issue around weight loss and being human, because keep in mind, we're all human. I struggle with the same thing you struggle with. We all struggle with it. The only difference is I refuse to be put in my isolation prison anymore. I come to the Half Size Me community. I raise my hand. I say I'm struggling. I post, and I don't care if I'm the founder of it. I don't care that I've been doing this for 8 years. That does not separate me from humanness. You have to remember we all have struggle. We all have these human issues. And until we bond together and we say, it's okay, I'm making space for you to be human. Share what you're struggling with. Let's get through this. Because I just had a client share with me, she thought she lost her wedding ring. And she texted me and said, this would normally trigger me to want to eat off plan. And I went to her and I said, well, you tell your husband, you guys look forward together. She says, what's interesting? I didn't want to tell him I lost my wedding ring. And not only was I struggling with searching for it, I was struggling with this feeling of guilt and shame around it. When she finally told her husband, she felt better. When we tell the things we don't want to tell, we feel better. So please hear me on this. If you want to know the one thing that will bring you down to your knees with weight loss, and the thing that probably causes you to self-sabotage, it's the isolation, it's the shame, it's the holding back. Fight against it. Choose to show up anyway, even if it means you have to throw up before you do it, because I promise you, once you start that new cycle of sharing your reality, whether it's your online support group, your in-person meetings, whatever you're doing, you break free of that. And you now are below the surface level of weight loss, which is what program are you following? And you're actually asking yourself, what am I going to do on the days I screw up? And those days will come. It's part of the human experience. You guys have a great day. Let me know below what you could use some more help with, whether it's mindset, practical tips. I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe, please like this, and please share this with a friend, because whether they're focusing on weight loss or not, isolation and shame and vulnerability apply to any area of your life that you're trying to make improvements. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.